Very good morning to everyone there, and I thank you all for attending the previous two video lectures of nerdy scientists related to cancer biology and nanomedicine. And now we are here with a new kind of methodologies, a new kind of research studies which have recently been accepted in Nature journals and various other highly reputed journals. And we are here with few research studies related to cancer research, which will be very much interesting, and you may also get inspired by these research studies, and we hope that you be inspired by these kind of studies, and it may help others to create their own ideologies using these kind of research studies. And so let's start off with the first video of this kind in our channel. And as we have already discussed about cancer biology, we thought that we could start off with the recent developments, what have been happened or have been reported till date on cancer research. So let's start off with the first study. So the title is Timing of Immune Response to COVID-19. It may contribute to disease severity. So it's all about the interaction between the innate and the adaptive immune responses to COVID-19 may be impacting disease progression. So you could see how COVID-19 is being related to the immune system, the disease severity. And this new study suggests that temporarily suppressing the body's immune system during the early stages of COVID 19 could help a patient avoid severe symptoms. That's because the research shows that there has been an interaction between the body's two main lines of defense, and it may be causing the immune system to go into overdrive in some patients. The University of South Carolina, California, has actually conducted this study, and it's temporarily suggesting us to suppress the body's immune system during the early stages of COVID-19, which could help to avoid the severe symptoms. So the immune system here is related to the cancer. If immune system weakens up, as already we discussed during the first lecture in cancer biology, that if immune system weakens up, the cancer patients may actually be very much on high alert, and it will be very much badly affecting the cancer patients. So in that context, I took this kind of COVID-19 immune response. Annual timing of immune response may contribute to disease severity. The initially if you could detect the COVID-19 infection, it would actually suppress various kind of side effects which may be caused due to COVID-19. So now, talking about this study, the second study, is about the activation of an estrogen receptor which can stop pancreatic cancer cells from growing. So the growing of cancer cells is related to estrogen receptor. We have discussed about receptors in the introduction of cancer biology and how important function they play. And here, if you could activate this estrogen receptor, we can actually inhibit pancreatic cells from growing. So it was Dr. Penn whose study was actually showing that GPER activation in mice can also make tumors more visible to immune system. So the activation of the G protein coupled estrogen receptor, GPR, a receptor found on the surface of many normal and cancer tissues, has been shown to stop the pancreatic cancer from growing, but may also make tumors more visible to the immune system and thus more susceptible to the modern immunotherapy. Researchers observed that the effects of GPER activation in human and mouse pancreatic cancer models. Very interesting study. It also deals with the receptors. So the activation of GPER is actually helping us to detect the tumor cells and also stop them from growing in the initial stage itself. Very important study. This receptor has been found on the surface of many normal and cancer tissues. It has been shown to stop pancreatic cancer from growing, but may also make tumors more visible to the immune system and thus more susceptible to modern immunotherapies. Researchers at the Pelham School of Medicine in the University of Pennsylvania, and the Penn's Abramans Cancer Center. These are few collaborations what Dr. Penn has done to study these effects of GPER in humans and mouse pancreatic cancer models, and they published it in a very reputed journal known as Cellular and Molecular Gastroenterology and Hepatology, in the month of April. Another study, very interesting, schizophrenia. The schizophrenia drug combined with radiation shows promise in treating deadly brain tumors. So see how a schizophrenia drug, the neurodegenerative disorder, is actually the drug used for those kind of brain disorders is helping in treating the deadly brain tumors. The new and latest study, guys. Researchers have actually planned to begin clinical trials this year's summer, but unfortunately, due to the COVID outbreak, they have actually halted that work. And researchers found adding a drug once commonly used to treat schizophrenia to traditional radiation therapy, which helped to improve overall survival in mice with glioblastoma. The researchers at the UCLA Johnson Comprehensive Cancer Center and the various colleagues have found that adding a drug once commonly used to treat schizophrenia to traditional radiation therapy helped to improvise overall survival in mice with glioblastoma, one of the most deadliest and most difficult to treat brain tumors. So you could see schizophrenia, the drug which is actually commonly used, very commonly used. They are not named, they're not given the name of the drug because it's still under experimentation. So one of those drugs, when you actually use it for traditional, when you compare it with traditional radiation therapy, the effect of decimation of tumor cells is more compared to the traditional radiation therapy what you give for the cancer therapy or cancer patients. So see how impactful a drug which is used for another disease, of course related to brain, but it has been possible that the drugs which are being used to the same organ site is helping to cure the tumor cells, to prevent or decimate, to kill the tumor cells. So very important point to note. And we may actually create some derivatives and observations using other drugs which are being used for gastrointestinal tract for that instance. So maybe those drugs can prevent GIT cancer. So let's try. We have to try. We have to keep on trying in the research so that we get more possibilities and revelations. Another one, the expensive cost of cancer drugs not always justified. Another very important study. So do high prices of some cancer medicines have a higher benefit than those drugs with lower prices? Not at all. An international study has concluded that in general there is no correlation between costs of cancer drugs and their clinical benefit. The researchers are therefore calling for the clinical benefit of drugs to be better reflected in pricing. So the quality enhancement in the anti-cancer drugs. So there are various anti-cancer drugs which are very expensive, some are very cheap. The quality remains the same, but why it is so expensive? So a question which needs to be answered, and the marketing of these anti-cancer drugs is huge, and there's a lot of income included in it. So we need to see that this kind of the studies come up, and we need to have a lot of discussions about it. The quality of the drug, if it is not up to the mark, it is not equally better, what is the need to have those kind of higher cost for those anti-cancer drugs? So it's important that we need to look over to the quality of the drug and thereby give the pricing. So that's what the study actually wanted to explain. And another one, the major trial shows breast cancer drug can hit prostate cancer Achilles heel. So a drug already licensed for the treatment of a breast and ovarian cancers is very effective than targeted hormone therapy at keeping cancer in check in some men with advanced prostate cancer. A major clinical trial reports have actually reported this kind of theory that the licensed drugs which are used in the treatment of breast and ovarian cancers, they have been found to be very much effective in targeted hormone therapy at keeping cancer in check for some men who are actually under the observation of the doctors. So a drug, namely olaparib, a pill lacking the side effects of the chemotherapy, can target an Achilles heel in prostate cancers with weakness in their ability to repair damaged DNA. So they have the ability to repair the damaged DNA, and using that kind of property, you could actually use this olaparib. So this is a kind of a problem which is actually being discussed here in a major trial which has happened recently, that olaparib is an anti-cancer drug basically, and it's a kind of a pill which is used, but there are a lot of side effects which are being caused due to chemotherapy, using this drug in the chemotherapy. And we have seen that this is very much weak in repairing the DNA, the damaged DNA. So it is not at all effective, but most of the patients are actually administering this drug. So it's very much important that we actually try to talk about this kind of drugs, and we hope that these kind of drugs get removed immediately, in immediate action, so that the patients don't suffer with them, with those kind of side effects which it may cause. So another one, new insights linking cell division to cancer. To replace aging and worn cells, the body primarily uses processes called mitosis, in which one cell divides into two. We know that when a cell is ready to divide, it duplicates its DNA, so a complete copy is available for each of the daughter cells. In this process, the DNA pieces or chromosomes must be actually apportioned into the daughter cells. If one cell has an incomplete copy of the DNA, or the DNA becomes damaged, genetic disorders and diseases such as cancer can result. So you could see how the cell division, there are few modifications, few suggestions which are present in this kind of studies. You could see it's very simple. Everyone can understand that. So an incomplete copy of DNA or a damaged DNA can actually result in cancer. So Nature has published this journal, and Huntsman Cancer Institute actually funded for that at the University of Utah. So University of California and San Francisco was also involved in this project. They discovered that the protein LEM2 has two important functions during cell division. First, LEM2 creates seals in the protective coating of forming nuclei that keeps two sets of DNA shielded from damage. Second, LEM2 recruits factors that disassemble the apparatus of fibers responsible for separating the DNA sets. So you could see how crucial role LEM2 protein is playing. So as I could say, natural resources are the important essential resource to prevent cancer. So this is one of the examples. One, researchers measure cancer cell mechanics in living animals using nanoparticles. So nanoparticles, as I said, very important, and without that we cannot imagine in any kind of medical sector. We do not have such kind of studies without the use of nanomedicine. In the latest research studies, what we could actually see. So here he's talking about detection and measuring of cancer cell mechanics in living animals, in living organisms using nanoparticles. Researchers developed a first of its kind nanoparticle based in vivo imaging technique, may one day be used to help diagnose and even treat cancer. So there's a lot more to do on this, and we need a lot of scientists to come up and work on this project. A first of its kind nanoparticle based in vivo imaging technique that may one day be used to help diagnose and even treat cancer has been developed by researchers collaborating from Michigan State, Johns Hopkins, and Stanford universities. The technique captures mechanical properties in living subjects that probe fundamental relationships between physics and in vivo in a living organisms. The results are published in journal materials today. Journal name is materials today. So this technique needs to be more improvised, according to me. It is a lot more to do, and scientists have to come up and work on this recent and relevant projects which are very exciting. And in vivo is a very first of its kind, as you said, using nanoparticles, and I hope that scientists take it into consideration and start working on this project, most importantly. So another one, the very first study of multi-cancer blood test to screen for cancer guide interventions. So you could see results from a first of its kind study of multi-cancer blood tests in more than 9,900 women with no evidence or history of cancer showed liquid biopsy test safely detected 26 undiagnosed cancers, enabling potentially curative treatment. Just imagine, 26 cancers were detected by the blood test, while an additional 24 cancers were detected by standard screening, such as mammography or colonoscopy. So you could see this multi-cancer blood test is new of its kind, and these studies are going to be more frequent and more common in the coming years for the cancer patients. And we hope that these screen detected cancers come up in future, and cancer detected by the blood test were most often localized by diagnostic PET and CT scans. So 12 of the cancers were detected by the blood test were able to be surgically removed. This is one of the study which they actually did with the 9,900 women on this topic. So it was very interesting, and we hope that this multi-cancer blood test detects in a very accurate manner, in a rapid manner, by further research, if we actually do further research on this multi-cancer blood tests. So we come to the end of this video. I hope you all loved the video and the recent studies what we actually discussed today. And be fit, be healthy, do care, take care of yourself, take care about your parents, your grandfather and grandmother, and do follow the lockdown, and do share knowledge. It's very much important right now that you actually share it and learn few things in this very crucial period of yours. And yeah, thank you so much for watching. Stay tuned.